Fabdon, you tapped in with PPhilms. What's the word, man?
What's poppin'? What's the vibes? We here. It's kind of a little past due here, though. What's up?
Absolutely, absolutely. I want to start this off by saying, thank you for coming on my platform and giving me the opportunity to help tell your story, all right?
Thank you for having me. Appreciate you.
Absolutely, absolutely. Let's just start it off with welcome home, man.
Yeah.
Word.
I'm tired of hearing that shit, though, man.
Yeah?
Yeah. Be like deja vu, man. But it's always, a lesson that come with it. And you can get better with time.
Absolutely. Better to hear welcome home than freedom, right?
Or RPM.
Exactly.
Jail be preserving it. I be feeling preserved.
Yeah.
To be honest.
You know what? Talk about that, because I just was interviewing somebody and I was like, do you think jail sometimes saves certain people? And he was like, yeah. So do you feel that way? Or
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Before I went to jail, I used to say to myself, like, I be wanting to work out. Like, my mom be places that my physical presence can't get sometimes, as far as like just shutting people down and just, getting like a moment to yourself.
Yeah.
Or things you want to just do that you probably need discipline with. And I just feel like sometimes jail will put you in that space where it's kind of forced. Even though that's not that good, because you're supposed to be able to like have self-control and do it on your own. Yeah. But I used to always tell myself, like, if I was in jail, I'll be able to work out, like, and not go to the gym. So, I tell you, me doing the jail thing on multiple occasions, I kind of know what to do now. Yeah. When I go in there, like, as far as like, I need to take this time and use it wisely. Yeah. Whether I got work to do or I just want to work on myself, period.
Gotcha. What was it like this time going away this time? Because I felt as if like you had, things were kind of heating up in the summertime, and then you went away. I remember DMing, I'm like, yo, then I kind of put two and two together, like, oh snap, he probably not around. So what was it like this time going away?
This time I felt kind of stuck because I couldn't bail out.
Yeah.
And
why is that?
The state of Virginia is Commonwealth, so they be doing what they want. It's not, you gotta watch where you get caught up at. And I kind of got snatched off a plane coming from customs. Wow. Coming from like Virgin Island, so I didn't have a chance to really like maneuver, or it wasn't expected. Okay. So with that being said, I was I was able to sit down and also like work on things that I was working on prior to going in. Like I told you, I wanted to like work on my mental health. Yeah. Mental health in the space that I was in. And just like, like I had to stop the violence thing, so that was something deep I really wanted to reflect on. Yeah. I was working on a series prior to going in, so I took that time and wrote it and completed it. It's not complete, but I got a lot of work done that, it takes time to sit down and like write a whole series. It's not a movie or a song. And it was something I was able to attack while I was had the time and space. And the age, I think, to answer your question, would be the difference as far as like, I'm more mature, so I got a more mature mindset. Yeah. So I'm taking things in different, and opposed to when I was probably 18, fighting an indictment, or 22 fighting an indictment on Rikers Island. So that's what I would say like would be like difference between the other times, just looking at things from a more mature lens. Gotcha.
Bet. Was there anything you was missing while you was gone? Certain things you was seeing while you was gone? What was that like?
But certain things I was seeing?
Yeah, seeing, missing, or paying attention to while you was away? Yeah.
I was missing my girl.
Yeah.
Nah, on a serious note, probably my family.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I was really missing nothing because I know I got a game plan that, you know, most of the time I do something, it's timeless.
Gotcha.
So, like, I already had what I was going to do in the works with to stop the violence shit. And then I was saying, like, I bet when I get out, I can still do it. You feel me? I know I wasn't fighting no murder charges or nothing that was going to hold me back. And I know the shit I was doing wasn't going to be outdated by the time I come home.
Okay.
So I don't really feel like I had that look at it like I'm missing something. I wasn't really missing nothing.
Okay. Cool. You know, what were you fighting? Could you speak about that, or things are not?
It was just fraud charges.
Okay,
like get money shit.
Gotcha. Bet. All right, so now you're home now. I'm sure there's things you want to do differently and all that, and focus on the series, like you said, writing the series, music, just be more consistent, as you stated. But let's kind of bring it back to your early childhood. When I do these interviews, I like to tell someone's full story from since they was young all the way till now.
Yeah.
So let's start off with where you were raised. I know you was raised in Queens, right?
Yeah, Southside Jamaica to be exact.
Gotcha.
Southside Jamaica to be exact. 134, God bro, like, you know, jumping off the steps, like getting into the streets.
Yeah.
You know, I lived in other places in Queens. Like I lived on the Ave before and all that. Like I ain't live in Rochdale my whole life, but I lived on God Broad my whole life damn near.
Yeah.
And but I feel like when my story really started, it would be like from 134, like middle school.
Gotcha.
And
okay. What was it like growing up out there for you? Like
to be honest, it was like motivation. It was like a motivation from a standpoint, like, I gotta do something with my life, you know, especially like walking the same block as 50 Cent and like G-Unit, and just seeing that around me. Like a lot of greats came from my hood, like Nicki Minaj, the Lost Boys, Fredo Starr, and Sticky Fingers, and Stack Bundles. You had just so much opportunity in arm's reach that, you know, for me personally, it was just like, if he could do this, I could do this. So that was that part of it. And then it was like, obviously, the poverty part of it, as far as struggling to make ends meet, and not becoming a product of your environment in a sense, and just trying to find a way to get out of the environment at the same time. Never forget your roots, you know?
Gotcha.
So I feel like that's the mind process we had. Like, at least me, I don't feel like everybody got that mindset, like, this ain't it. We gotta get rich. We could get rich. These got rich.
We could do it too.
Like we could do it too. So I just always been in that mindset, like from young, growing up. I always had to have the fly shit before I knew I was gonna get in music. From music, like I was just
Gotcha. Where before you was into music, what was you into growing up, or what piqued your interest?
Nothing.
I
don't think I was into something before music.
What was like an everyday like for Fabdon? What was that waking up? What was your life like when you woke up? What was if somebody was supposed to turn on the TV and this is the story of Fabdon, what would that look like to the viewers?
As a kid though, like what age you talking about? Cause I probably got into music when I was like 10, 11, 12.
Damn, that's early.
Yeah, I watched Bow Wow. I saw Bow Wow, and I'm like, I could do that. Before 50 Cent, I was watching Bow Wow. I was in a Bow Wow and Red Band before that. My mother always was strong on hip hop. So like, it grew on me.
Gotcha.
I can't recall it something that I had a infatuation with before music or hip hop, to be honest.
Okay, so it was music. All right. What was it about Bow Wow that you like? Was it just him being young?
It was young. It was him being young and lit with the music. And you know, it was like strong influence for from the street, like black youth, the kid. Like, it was just like, hold on, I could be a kid and be that lit. It's possible. It's possible. I could be a kid and be lit too. You know, so because Bow Wow older than me, so you know, then Romeo came. It's like, oh, now this is becoming a thing.
Yeah.
But it's like I ain't have a JD that grabbed me up and make me young. So when I did get a chance to really get it popping, it was like, oh, I ain't Bow Wow age, but
yeah,
you know.
Got you. What was that chance that you got when you say you got a moment to be like, all right, let me showcase my talent or even write music? What did that look like for you?
I'm gonna be honest, like my mother, she was just strong on supporting me.
Yeah.
And pushing me to dream and make something happen. So she had me in the studio at a young age. And
how old?
How
old?
Probably like 13.
Oh, damn.
13, like when I was in middle school still. I was in the school.
Yeah.
And I remember she bought me a karaoke machine and I started recording. And
she had to be somewhat into music, right?
She recorded music herself.
Okay, that's why. Because I'm like, the support seems very real. Like,
I said this, I was going to say this my next interview. My mother had a song with Shay Davis.
A word?
I was thinking about it the other day. Like, my mom got a song with Shay Davis. So she was in the music herself. And,
okay.
That's, you know, that played another part.
Yeah. She understands it. That's why. Because I'm like, wait, she putting you in the studio. She had to be somewhat into it. Okay. Gotcha.
When she bought me that karaoke machine, it was like an MTV little karaoke box, and I was able to record.
Yeah.
I think the rest was history.
That's what's up. Shout out to Mama Love. Where, do you have any siblings? Any siblings or anything?
I got siblings on my 2 siblings on my mother's side, 2 girls, and
Gotcha.
Like 4 siblings on my father's side, but I ain't really tapped in with my father, but I'm tapped in with my siblings though.
Okay, gotcha. So you don't really speak to your father much, or is it?
I don't speak to my father at all.
Oh wow, yeah. Gotcha. Does that affect you in any way, as far as like being a man, or seeing struggles that you could have faced? Seeing things that you struggled with that you could have faced it better had he been there, or do you feel like whether he was there or not, it is what it is? Him being there, him not being there, it doesn't affect you. Did it affect you in any way?
In a sense, I feel like it's supposed to naturally affect you, because if you got a father in your household, I'm pretty sure it would be different than if you don't. But then again, I seen people with no father or mother strive and use that as core motivation.
Yeah.
And they get way further than the person that got their father. So in my eyes, I never looked at it as an excuse or try to embrace it as an excuse. But I do know, sometimes I do feel like, especially like with the law enforcement, with the interactions with the law enforcement, that if I was raised different with my father, I would probably learned a lot of more lessons that I had to learn on my own.
Gotcha. Like
through experience, opposed to being told and, you know, guided.
Gotcha.
You know.
Gotcha. But so let's talk about when does music become serious for you? I know you say like your mother kind of brought the karaoke machine, takes you to the studio, but at what point does it become serious where it's like, oh, you know what? I'm going to try to actually pursue this. This is real now.
And I started getting fans. When people like from the hood was really like listening to me and making me feel like somebody. And then as I'm battling people and like doing music with my peers, I'm realizing I'm better than them.
Yeah.
I'm like, nah, I'm actually nice. At first it's just like something you try out and you get in the playing field and, you know, you don't feel as confident. But then when it's showtime, whether it's you on a song with somebody or you battling somebody. We grew up battling each other. I battled everybody in Queens and Southside. You can look on YouTube right now. I packed the whole barbershop when I was like 17, 18 years old and had everybody and their mother in there. When I like literally like the whole Southside Jamaica Queens, if you was somebody, you was in that barbershop that day. And I made a name for myself. Like going from Jamaica Avenue all the way to God Bro, all the way up to something, snatching mics. You know, this is before any beef or anything. This is just like happened. So once I started getting that, I was like, nah, I gotta. This gotta be it. I don't know nothing else really. This gotta be something serious.
Gotcha.
You heard? This gotta be something serious. Like,
that's what's up.
It wasn't no, I seen this person do it, so I want to do it. Yeah. Or like something that I needed something to do. It was just something that just was like embedded in me.
Gotcha.
And it was just natural.
Okay. Who was some is there anybody that we might know that you battled?
That you might know?
Yeah. Or anyone with a name that from Queens, from around those times that you was able to go head to head with?
I mean, if you from Queens, you probably wouldn't know. I wouldn't say these artists is in a limelight like that, but but it was like they was known in the hood. One person, they probably, I don't know, like I don't want to be like bigging somebody up too much, and then I don't want to like bring somebody down as far as they not that person. But Ratchet Rel, Ty Trilly, Ben Nice. I just dropped a tape with him. That's my brother, but we used to just be going at it like that. And a couple artists from Southside. Like I'm talking like Southside Jamaica. Gotcha. I'm not really talking on the outside tip.
Okay. All right.
Outside of that.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Was there any musical influences that drove your passion to do music?
In the industry?
Yeah.
Bow Wow.
Yeah. I think you might be the only person I know that said Bow Wow. So, and not to say he's like a bad person, but it's like I'm shocked. I'm surprised you didn't say like.
I don't know why. It's just like if you was a young little and you saw Bow Wow, it was like, alright.
How about when you got older though? Like
get in the industry. That's what I'm saying. It started from that though.
Yeah.
You feel me? This is where I was like, nah, I gotta be that. Even though I ain't make it as a that was on at 7, 8.
Yeah.
I'm watching Bow Wow and I'm like 7, 8. I'm like, hold on, this nigga like Mike movies, like he really living the dream, and you know he had a street persona as far as like fucking with Snoop Dogg, even though he from Ohio, where he from. So it was like young, black, and talented, and from the street. So I'm like, alright, that's dope. But like up close and personal, it would have to be like G Unit, 50 Cent.
Okay.
You know, cause that's like that was the era. Banks was really like my favorite rapper growing up. Yeah. You know, I had all his mixtapes, and I felt like I was getting my punchlines in a sense from him, or the type of artist I was going. Yeah. So that went hand in hand when I was battling. You feel me? That I used to battle with Banks verse.
Yeah.
before I was OD nice. Yeah. You know what I mean? But then my shit started coming, like it became natural.
Yeah.
You know? And Banks, I'd say Banks was like our main influence.
Gotcha. That's what's up. That's what's up. So at what point do you, at what point do you feel like you start taking to, I guess, street things and getting, I guess, having run-ins with law enforcement and all that? At what age? What was that time period of your life like?
That time period of my life was like, damn, Chief Keef and these is doing this on the Midwest.
Yeah.
We on the East Coast. It's as real. It wasn't planned, but it came about, and we had to deal with it and roll with the punches. So, I would say This was like 2010, 2009, 11. Something up that alley. And the older I was getting, I was seeing a lot of things, like people dying.
Yeah.
Like before my generation, probably some older cats from the hood. I was seeing that, and then it spiraled into what we was doing, and you know, this is the whole thing I was talking about, where we wasn't really trying to become products of our environment, because we know what come with that. But like I said, and I ain't mentioned Chief Keef because I was obviously doing music before Chief Keef came out.
Yeah.
But as far as the whole gang and street essence of it, I feel like that was like a influence that took over.
Yeah.
To everybody in their hood.
Yeah.
And that was doing music as well. In the streets, it just went hand in hand. So I believe at that time is when it became a turn, you know.
Gotcha. And how old would you say?
I would say like 17, 18.
Yeah.
17, 18.
Gotcha. Is if I'm not mistaken, is that when y'all got indicted? Like, were you that age?
I got indicted. I was like 21.
Oh, okay.
Like 21. So
yeah.
I got indicted 2014. So if you do the math,
okay, like 4 years
it's like
later.
4 years later.
Gotcha. How scary was that? You know, I know everybody is tough in the streets, but that's something you never been through. I mean, it's not fighting somebody on the streets. It's going up against the state, you know, going against the feds or whatever the case. However deep it got, it's going against something serious you know nothing about. What was that like?
Scary.
Yeah.
I feel like the only thing I was scared about was like turning myself in, because I didn't get caught. Like when they came and grabbed everybody, I was in a hotel doing what I was doing. So I got the phone call and my mother called me like, yo, they came to the house 5 in the morning, and then I'm calling my friends, and my friends like, yo, they doing this sweet, they grabbing everybody. So now I'm like in this situation where I'm like, damn, I turn myself in. What if I turn myself in and don't make it back out?
Yeah.
Because the charges was like 25 to 28 years I'm facing, murder charges. And I'm just like, you know, that's probably what I was worried about in a sense. But
yeah.
I wouldn't say like scared. I was scared, or it made me scary. It was just a matter of dealing with the unknown.
Yeah.
So I ain't know what to really expect.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I turned myself in, and I went through the motions.
Yeah. What was it like when you turned yourself in, like hitting Rikers for the first time and all that? What was that experience like?
Bittersweet.
Yeah.
What was bitter about it was that I'm in this predicament. Once again, I felt stuck because my bail was $500,000.
Damn.
And we couldn't really work with that. And I was already in the street, so like, you know, my gang had a name for itself.
Yeah.
So it was like I'll break down this scenario. I was on the radio at the time too.
Yeah.
Before, like, DJ Self had just offered me a deal before I got indicted. And before that, K Slay was messing with me, playing my music hard. So a lot of these people was just listening to me on the island. You feel me? So when I came there, it's like, oh, that's the Fabdon. But my whole thing was, it was so heavy in the streets at the same time as, I don't know if you staring at me and you a fan or you a op.
Gotcha.
You understand? So, and I got a sideline. I got a sideline like my first week on the Southside, and it was by one of them bartenders. You know, you on the bar, big brother. You know, from the Bronx. I'm from Southside Jamaica. I don't know this from a hole in the wall. You feel me? And you know, like supposedly somebody sent a missile to this, but the nigga that sent the missile was just a dick rider. He ain't know me. He just like, yo, Fabdon over there. Fabdon did X, Y, and Z. Get that out of here. You feel me?
Yeah.
And it was just like dealing with that. That was the bitter shit. You feel me? It's just like, damn, like, cause I'm not PC or nothing. Even though I'm on the radio, just know who I am. And it's just like, you just don't know where that shit coming from.
Yeah.
Or who the, you feel me? You gotta literally, I'm literally in the visit room with my back against the wall, and I don't really want to talk to you. Unless you coming up to me telling me you're a fan, don't look at me too long. You heard? Or I might do something to you. Cause I don't know how to take it. You feel me? And a lot of times, they stare at you because they appalled or they in awe of you. Like, oh, you they shouting on the radio, and there won't even be no problems. But same token, stare at you, and he'll have a problem with you, but he won't make it be known. He won't let it be known. Now, he probably felt like a fan and an op. You know what I'm saying? He probably having mixed emotions about me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that was the bitter part. But the sweet part was, I guess, the love, the up close and personal, like to understand, like I'm getting loved in the jails as far as like these fans rocking with me. And he's like, yo, Fabdon, you on the radio, hot now.
Yeah.
105, da 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 da. And you know, being with my Codies and you know, I guess the experience.
Yeah.
You know, I ain't saying jail is cool, but it was a living experience, you know.
Gotcha.
So.
Gotcha. And that was the whole Snow Gang indictment, right?
Yeah.
Gotcha. You know, how big did things become in Queens? Like, is this something y'all ever thought would even be as big as it was?
I personally feel like ain't nothing been bigger in Queens since Supreme Team, as far as like the influence that we put forth in Queens in the gang culture, and not only in the gang culture, but in the music, with the music mixed with it. As far as like that, I personally don't feel like it's been something as influential, and not influential in a positive light, but influential in a spreading like a wildfire and cult. Like it was very cult. It was very culty. Like you know, people
following everything that's going on.
Following, saying, talking with the slang and not being a part of it. You know, as like we really made it, but we ain't even make it yet.
Gotcha.
You know?
How did the languages even come up though? Because I know sometimes, like growing up, you just say certain things and then it becomes something. How was it for y'all?
Yeah, I was just talking to my man the other day. I feel like that's where we really went viral first, like with the lingo, saying snow this, snow that, snever. You know, we were just cutting like the SN over words, like you know, like make a bitch get on her sneeze. You heard? like that, skeevy. We had the lingo, and you got people that was in high school still, so you know when they had put it on, everybody was talking about it on the internet, and they seeing it, and it became like culty like that. This was before any murder, before any music stage was out there, and you know, it was confusing when Bobby Smurda and them came out with the Smoney talk and Smurda talk, because it was like we was doing that heavy in Queens, and we know we definitely didn't get it from them. We're not sure if the way they was going about it, it seemed like they didn't get it from us, but it was just mad similar and mad common. So we was like, what? You know?
Yeah, I mean, you know, never know.
It was just like ironic.
Yeah. Was there ever? Well, y'all was. When did they come out? 2012, 13. I think 2013. Okay. Yeah.
I know they came out. Like I was in the studio with Rowdy when they first came out, and I remember it because I remixed the Hot Nigga song. And it was funny because DJ Self, he'll be playing Bobby Smurder and he'll go right into my record as he's going through the boroughs. You know, he'll play like a Brooklyn record and then he'll play like a Queens record to follow up.
Yeah.
So that's what I would align the whole Snow Gang movement with on a music scale. You know, I'm not too sure what was doing in the streets or how heavy they was in the streets, but it was like we got indicted in September. They got indicted in December.
Okay. What was it like when Self and them was ready to give you a deal? Like, was that like surreal for you at that time?
Yeah, it was a great opportunity on the table, and I kind of regret blowing it, even though it was like life circumstances. I had no control of it, but I do feel like that would have got me further than I would be if I had the opportunity to take advantage of that. And it still felt good to even get granted the opportunity, whether I fulfilled it or not, you know, because it gives me confidence, like, all right, this person believed in me, and, you know, I've been that, you know.
Gotcha. Is there still a relationship with you and them?
Yeah, with Self, he showed me love, I show him love. It's all love. I see him in the spot, it's all love.
Gotcha.
He played some records, a lot of records.
Yeah. But you know, a lot of times when I interview people, whether it be street stories about Harlem, Brooklyn, any state, right? The common theme is like a lot of guys were cool before things turned into turmoil, whether it be fights or little things people argued about, which turned into fights, which turned into knives, guns, murder, whatever the case may be. Was there any relationship that y'all had with the people that y'all had issues with?
I wouldn't say like Snow Gang as a whole, but me personally, I had a lot of relationships with people that it's up with. Like, people like I done been in these people's houses. I done did songs with people before, prior to a lot of the street stuff taking place. And that's why I'm doing the whole Stop the Violence thing. Like, that's one of my initiatives in the Stop the Violence things, as far as like, I know you know me. Like, I say these government names, middle name included. For me, I can say these others' names, you heard? Yeah, definitely. I definitely had relationships with a lot of them.
Yeah. So what I guess that did you feel like you was put in like a compromised position when things start getting intense? And because sometimes you have people who may force people like, yo, you got to pick a side now. Like, what position did that put you in with people that you were cool with, but you got to show loyalty over here?
I feel like I was so part of the root of the problem that I never had to feel that. It wasn't like something that was taking place without me, and I'm like, damn, like, y'all can't get along. I'm the one that couldn't get along. So let's say the Snow Gang didn't know these, but I know these. I got a problem with these. You feel me? My Snow Gang, it's like, you understand what I'm saying? So I wasn't in the position of like, it was like was being more so loyal to me, you know, and it was like not even in question.
Gotcha.
As far as like me choosing a side, you knew what side I was on, because I'm probably the one that like caused the division. In a sense.
Gotcha. I mean, this you can answer if you want, whatever. Don't answer if you want. What caused you to have an issue with them? If you feel like there were certain individuals you was cool with, what made it to where it was just like, all right, we cannot get along, bro. So now what's up?
I know some shit happened. Like, it's just like different. It's just like different avenues you have to go down with that question to like the root of different beefs. I know one shit happened where snatched his sidekick phone, and I basically ran and got low because I took the phone or whatever, and this he walked away, like he was walking while I got low. So I guess they end up locking him up for it. But this was like when we was kids and shit, and I don't know if he was mad I ain't turned myself in. I don't know where it stems from, but I know that was one of the roots of the problem, and that shit just escalated to some whole other shit. And then it's just like having problems, minor problems escalated to major problems with murder.
Gotcha.
And when he got murdered, it was like it's nothing to talk about.
Yeah, it's over. It's over. I always see like, this is the first time I'm hearing something like that, like a phone. Normally I be talking to guys and it's like a girl. It's normally someone was messing with a girl, the other person was messing with a girl, and there was conflict over that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, gotcha. You know, was there ever any friendships with, and excuse me if it comes off offensive, was there ever any friendships or relationships with people from Wood City, or was it always up with them?
It was always up with them.
Yeah.
We didn't even know them. That came from affiliate gang. They like really wasn't with that side, but they was Snow Gang, and Snow Gang kind of took that on. You know what I mean? Like that ain't really like, we ain't know them is on the whole other side, and it wasn't never a cool standpoint amongst them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Damn. You know, what's the distance between 134 and where they at? Like, how did them being far from y'all, like how does that even?
High schools. This shit stemmed from high school. Going to school together and shit. You know what I mean? Getting raw for their jackets.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Getting violated and stuff.
Yeah.
So that was the whole thing. Like, even though they was on the other side of Queens, we going to the same high schools, and it's stemming from there. But you know, when you mention something like Wood City came along. Like, they wasn't outside in 2009 and they wasn't even called. I don't know how you get Wood City, because we was called Snow City in 2009, 2010, and that's Woodhull, and I don't understand. Like, I don't know. You feel me? I'm on some like stop the violence. I just be trying to get the facts, and the facts is like it was over there.
Yeah. Do you feel like there was some type of influence? They was inspired by y'all or something?
I feel like everybody tried to use us to get a name.
Yeah.
You know, in Queens, like a lot of people just decided, you know, if I'm not with them, I'm gonna go against them. And once I mention them, I become relevant because they relevant.
Yeah.
So I felt like a lot of people was just using that and making it a thing.
Gotcha. How, you know, they always say heavy is the head that wears the crown, so it's kind of like, do you feel like y'all faced that a lot? Making a name for yourselves in Queens, did that happen a lot, where there was y'all felt like there was random people who, like, we don't know y'all, never had an issue with y'all, but there's something that they saying about us or trying to make it seem like there's an issue?
That's the story right there.
Yeah?
That's the story right there. That's the story. This is before using the term clout chasing.
Yeah.
This was like, you know, all I gotta do is say Snow Gang K is hearing me out.
Yeah.
Especially when Body started dropping, you feel me? It seemed like everybody was related to each other. Everybody knew this person.
Gotcha.
Or everybody was close to each other. So, you know, that was the thing. That was the claim to fame. You feel me?
But you know, sometimes, but keep it real, like, cause I feel like sometimes when a movement is so big, there is some type of oppression that's going on, but if you're part of the winning team, you don't feel that. So everybody might feel a sense of, nah, we don't like them because they're doing too much. Do you feel like y'all was being fair, or was y'all just stepping? Keep it real.
I feel like, I don't feel like we was being fair.
Yeah.
I feel like we was stepping on like the world is ours. And it was just, it got to a point where it's like, if it's like you said that, it's nothing to talk about. You over there, you with this person, you over there. Damn. So, you know, we ain't show no remorse on that. We never like ducks from that. We never ducked from that.
Gotcha.
You know?
Gotcha.
Like we was like, as much as they wanted to be enemies, it was like we was okay with it.
Yeah.
It wasn't a sense like, yo, where you come from or who. Like we not entertaining these. We don't even know who these is.
Yeah.
Nah, y'all to get stepped on too.
Gotcha.
That was more so the mindset.
Gotcha. I know with all this that happened, and I know 1,000,000% is stop the violence. 100%. All we just talking about is a little bit of the history and what leads to stop the violence. But before stop the violence, there is violence that's happening, and one thing that occurred is throughout the melee between Snow Gang and Wood City, Shawny Binladen's chain gets stolen. You know, when that hits the internet or when that becomes public, what's on your mind at that time?
I'm gonna be honest, I was locked up when that happened.
Yeah.
I was locked up. I was in prison. I was in prison, so I can't really even speak too much on that. I just know things happened and things happened.
Yeah.
But I don't even understand like how I would answer your question. Like, where was my mindset at when it happened?
Like, what did you think? Like, did you think to yourself like, oh, damn, like, you know?
I thought another one bites the dust. I thought like it's going viral.
Yeah.
It's out there wilding, you know. I was like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But it was deja vu. So it wasn't the first time I heard about a rap again, his chain snatch. So it was just like, nah, I'm not laughing though. I'm dead ass. But stop the violence though.
Yeah, definitely stop the violence. Like you said, it's you're coming home. It's more so on peace. What inspired that?
Age.
Yeah.
Me being outside from young, seeing like the way things played out and transpired, and at first it was coming from a standpoint when I dropped the record, the My City record, I just felt like everybody was so edgy about having a lyrical warfare, because my energy was really based off of what was going on in the industry as far as Kendrick and Drake, and I was like, you know, I want to snatch these mics, you know, I want to rap against my peers, I want to da-da-da, but it's too like emotional. It's too emotional and too sensitive for me to do that, you know, because it's like people done died and it's street shit, and it's just, I just had to come to the realization that it wasn't the same. So I personally was letting it be known that like, nah, y'all don't gotta worry.
Yeah.
This ain't like nothing violent. You know, this is just lyrical warfare. I'm really like aiming to stop the violence, but some people took that as a slap in the face. Basically
stopping it. It's kind of like just getting more mature, being a little bit more like, yo, you know what? I want to battle. Yeah. But it's too serious. It's too intense.
Yeah, I don't gotta be scared. Like I just want to be fans. You feel me? I always wondered why could do this in Brooklyn and the Bronx, and I honestly felt like it was working for them, where they could go at it musically, and even though the shit is in the streets, they'll still go at it musically without being so wary of it. Like,
I don't know. I don't think they can.
I mean, it gets to a point when Pop Smoke turned into Pop Smoke, but before it was Pop Smoke and 2Gs. Before Chef G turned into Chef G, it was Chef G and 2Gs. So, and you know, we can name instances for Bronx artists and artists elsewhere. And I feel like until you get too big headed, that's when you say, I can't do this no more. You know, when Fabio turns into Fabio, he doesn't want to mention 2Gs because he's bigger than 2Gs. So it's more like an ego thing, and like protecting your name and protecting you giving the ops the opportunity.
Yeah,
you know,
I think I agree but disagree too, only because Fabio and Tutu never met one another. A lot of them never seen one another. So I think y'all just might be a little bit more intense. Now I mean, like, I would question how easy would it be for Drake and Kendrick to go at one another if there was people that they lost due to the other side.
I never looked at it like that. As far as like, you know, it probably hit closer to home between these artists because it was once upon a time where, you know, they was together, not together, but in a sense, had relationships.
Gotcha. Man, do you ever look back, like, kind of like, if there's things that you could have changed or things that you wish were a little different? You ever think like that?
Nah, I don't really live with no regrets.
Yeah.
But I do wish that a lot of things that happened ain't happened that wasn't part of the plan.
Yeah.
And it was just, you know, it was more peace in Queens, you feel me? Because I really feel for the borough, like, and I feel like a lot of more people would prosper if that was the case. And yeah, for the most part, just, you know, I just wish everybody had like a one train thought and was on the same type of time. But, you know, you got people that don't do music, and you got murderers, you feel me? And do what they want, and you gotta roll with the punches.
Yeah.
You know?
Damn. You know, I don't know if he was home for this, but I know, like, before Shawny goes in, he gets shot. You know, not saying you know who, whatever, I'm not going there, but that's just, I feel like he has fans, he's doing music, he's living his dream, but still, there's like a possibility that your past could catch up to you. You feel me? Where's your mindset at with things like that? That reality that the past could catch up to you. Where's your mindset when you think about things like that?
Move militant.
Yeah.
Don't be lacking. Don't sleep. Like, just because I'm saying stop the violence, that don't mean I'm putting my guard down.
Yeah.
Or I ain't gonna move like that. You understand what I'm saying? I try not to get too, you know, away from it as far as like too into the music, forgetting where I'm from and forgetting the damage that's caused, you know. So I move intact.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Yeah.
So that would be what my mindset is, just move militant, because it could happen to you at any given time.
Yeah.
You know, despite where you think you at in life or what you're doing in life.
You never know. Yeah. How far to stop the violence goes? Could you perform in the same club or on the same, let me not say on the same stage, but on the same club or festival with these guys?
I could. I'm trying to get it there.
Yeah.
That's the aim. That's the end goal. Like, that's the aim, you know, making it. I'm trying to do for New York what Kendrick did for LA, kinda.
Yeah.
With the pop-up, you know, just make it where, you know, you could see, you could tell them, you could let them know that we could function, you know? And it's a lot of things that got to be done before those measures take place, but I do believe, like, it would serve its purpose.
Yeah.
And help. But that's the goal too. That's the goal.
Yeah. You know what's crazy? Last question on this. I don't know if this is true, but I seen this and I just thought it was ironic. Like, I think they were saying like Wood City and them is from, I think Murder Inc. is from Wood City. Mm-hmm. And you ever think that, like, all right, back in the days, 50, Ja. Mm-hmm. Now, Snow Gang, Wood City. Mm-hmm. What are does that stem from things like that, or is it its own separate thing?
Its own separate, which makes it more ironic. You know, which makes it more ironic. You know, it's like, that was never, like I said, we didn't even know them or like really have no playing field. But like I said, due to the fact it was a cult following, you had people that was with the cult following that was doing that. You know, going beefing with them. So now it's becoming like, yo, we're not gonna talk about whatever these got going on or who these is, we just gonna say the Snow Gang name. Feel me? Because the Snow Gang is the big name, and that's what they rolling with. Yeah. Or that's what they trying to be rolling with. That's the cult following they part of. So it became an issue like that. And, I would say, like, you know, maybe if it was like, if it started there, opposed to like the cult following bringing it on, yeah, then maybe it would have stemmed from, you know, us just being from the opposite sides and the groundwork that 50 Cent and Ja played. Gotcha. But it didn't stem from that, so.
Gotcha. Bet. Well, hopefully, you know, there could be some peace in the future, you know what I'm saying? And you're doing the Stop the Violence thing, so hopefully that could be something big, and it could kind of like be inspired and influenced by, it could influence others as well to do the same thing.
Yeah, because you know, at the end of the day, everybody dies, everybody go to jail. It don't stop. You're not gonna kill my man and that be that. I hope I just won't kill your man and that be that. But this is like an ongoing thing, and
it's a cycle.
If it don't stop, and my whole thing too was like I said, I was outside when it was really lit. You feel me? When it was really dying every month or week behind this shit. So I look at it today and I see it ain't that. Yeah. And now, due to the fact I see it ain't that, I feel like they're just using it for clout now. Yeah. You heard? So I'm here to expose that. Like, y'all ain't spinning over here like that. And we not even spinning over there like that, because it's not at the height of what it once was. It died down. Why are we not letting it know? Why are we not letting it know it died down? Why? Like, that's shutting me and mines outside of certain doors where people think, nah, I can't put them on the same playing field. I gotta choose a side or whatever. Yeah. It's lit. It's not lit. I know when it was lit. And I feel like why they don't wanna announce it, because it's their story, it's their claim to fame. After you say that you don't got no problems with this person, it's like,
what are we listening for?
What are we listening for? What do we care about it? Yeah. And or to use it to their advantage as far as like, nah, the is no good. They did this, they did that. But you're not on this and you're not on that. So why are we not letting it be known? Why are we not taking advantage of it? You know? And saying like, nah, it ain't even that. It's all good. You know, I'll see this person in the club. It ain't gonna be that. Yeah. You know what I mean? So.
Gotcha. With all the issues and all the beef and all that, you know, you did mention there's situations where people lost their lives. And how many people do you feel like you lost to the streets, as far as whether it be prison or passed away? If you could put a number on it, how many people would you say it is?
Well, Spaz is doing 20 and better. Tab Todd's doing 20 and better. A Goon is doing 20 and better. SB is doing 20 and better. Damn. They trying to violate my bro Say So, and Say So just did 8 years. He locked back up. I mean, they trying to get out another 8, 9. So that's like damn near the same time. Yeah. Ain't gone. It be gone. Red gone. Marcella's gone. Cody gone. So that's just like 10 people with like that's dealing with like life situations. 5 I'm gonna never see again. And then another 5 that I'ma see. Hopefully, God willing, I get to see again. And you know, but it took away a big portion of their life. Yeah. Due to this street shit. And it's so much more too. Like, I apologize for anybody I didn't mention, but I just know like A lot. I'll say a lot of people.
Wow.
20.
Yeah.
20
Damn,
people.
man. Damn. How how does it affect you? You know, because I think death, prison, all those things suck. You know, if somebody passes away from natural causes, there's a, you know, you kind of like, yeah, you feel like they were taken from you, but it's natural causes. Not to say it's anything less than what other people are going through, but it's like you have a reason, whatever. But when somebody's snatched from you, like how do you process that?
To me, it just motivates me. It just motivates me, like, to stay away from it.
Yeah.
Things that led them people in that situations, whether it's not being on point or whether it's, you know, choosing what I decide to entertain.
Yeah.
And another sense of, you know, I gotta make it out.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta make it out before I become a statistic. And I wanna get in position where I could bring people out with me, you know. It's not, as a lady, it ain't even been about me, really. It's about the opportunities I could provide people and just keeping them out the streets and helping them. Like, I tell one of my rap before I tell them, like, yo, hold this gun.
Yeah.
And protect me or do something. Like, you know, I know, like, it'd be money about me. I'm calling you to get money before I'm calling you to go put in some pain or do some I know will set you back in life.
I forgot to ask this earlier. Is Cash Cobain from Queens or the Bronx?
Why you ask me questions you could Google though? That's what I don't like. Like that's kind of corny to me. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna keep it gangster.
I wanna know.
Like, he's from the Bronx. He's from the Bronx, but he was raised in Queens. He went to high school in Queens, but
yeah,
these is Google questions, man. I don't like to say like, oh, he said he's not from Queens. Like, it's set in stone.
But you seen him though, like, you seen him before in Queens?
Nah.
Oh.
But you seen him. He was heavy out there. Like, he's strong out there. He's so strong out there that people mistake him for being from Queens.
I thought he was from Queens. I'm not gonna lie.
Nah, he'll tell you himself that he from the dirty ass Bronx.
Yeah. Why you say it like that for?
That's the dirty ass Bronx. Like, they know they dirty.
Ice Spice said it, you know.
Yeah,
like,
Ice Spice said I'm dirty. I'm from the Bronx.
Oh man, son. But you know, with him, you know, like I said before, I was supposed to ask, but it kind of slipped my mind. Was there ever any run-ins with him, or because, to be honest, we see Cash Cobain, Sexy Drill, and all that. When we start hearing these stories about, you know, there's issues here and there, we shocked. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So, is the Cash Cobain that you see in music videos, rapping, do y'all know that Cash Cobain or somebody else?
I feel like Cash input is a part of the whole cult thing. I was telling you, like a cult following, you know, as far as like it became cool. It also became, it kind of became cooler to jack Snow Gang K opposed to Snow Gang. You feel me? Like that grew bigger than things. So as we got our cult following, it's a cult following that opposes that. Okay. And he fell in line from being around the other side. So it's never been on no street shit, but you know, every time you see a nigga do this, it's like you can look at all his pictures as this. It's like you dropping some shit from our side, you feel me? And like I said, of course don't know about that because it's really not outside or involved to really understand, and it's just fiends. But niggas die for that. Yeah. Die for that, or be getting robbed for that, and you know that shit not just like no. I'ma just see you on TV. Yeah. You feel me? So you know, but for the most part, like I'm in a different space, and I got a lot of people with me that's in a different space. So it's like I guess in a sense it's cool. You know, as long as like, you know, this is doing what they doing for the internet. But at the same token, like, I'll be lying to you if I said that I could stop somebody from doing something behind that. But for the most part, I'm just trying to lead the way as far as like, the way you lead is by example. So my example is like, let's stop the violence and like, don't even entertain. But that's the history behind it. It ain't no clout chasing or no, you know, it's just going off the motion, because you can see conversations with me and Cash going back and forth talking about the verses before he was who he was. You understand? So it's not like just decided to do that because of that. I done spoke to him, and then, you know, we had mutual parties speak to each other as far as like, yeah, that's not that cool, bro. Like, you dropping the fours or...
What is his response to that?
At first, he was talking about doing the verses. Because I was telling him he don't run Queens, you know what I mean? And then he was saying he run Queens. At first, he was talking about doing the verses. Then he got on some like industry shit. My manager said, I can't.
Damn.
I'm like, I don't care. I was trolling with that in the first place. Yeah. It's always been a trolling situation. Nobody take it as like no serious situation with him, because you don't really stem from that. You just with the cult part of it, the cult following part of it. Yeah. You know, you're not really involved in that shit.
Gotcha. I know we spoke about 50 a couple of times. I do remember seeing you in pictures with 50, you being together with him and everything. How did that come about? What's the story behind that relationship?
That was a relationship through like a close friend, to be honest. But like for the background story, Chaz came and got me, you know, out the hood. Chaz was an American gangster. I really didn't even know who Chaz was as far as the streets and his relationship with 50 at the time. I just remember watching all the gangsters on American Gangster, like Supreme, Big Meech, and all that. They had a show. So I was watching Chaz on that, and you know, he came. At first, he was doing a mixtape for Southside, where he was grabbing everybody's music and putting it on tape, and was going to drop a project like that. I guess when he heard my music, he said, nah, I don't want to do the tape no more. I just want to manage this artist.
Oh, wow.
I want this artist. And he stopped the whole program. And
probably got the other artist tight.
And after that, it was like not so long after 50 Cent kind of got in the picture, and, you know, it came a snow unit. They did like a snow unit. One of my one of the close homies, you know, he decided to do that, and I was encouraging it, because I'm like, yo, I'm over here with Chaz. Don't if 50 calling or embrace it, don't let me fuck up what we got going on. But at the end of the day, I'm loyal in a sense, so I'm not going to just jump ship and die, you know, because 50 around and all that. But I'm already here with Chaz, you know, so I was doing that, and I ain't come around 50 until like recent, probably like 2021, 2022, where I was still with my man, you feel me? Well, I ain't really on him right now. I ain't seeing eye to eye right now, but and like, you know, he brought me around, and we was doing, you know, like you know, networking.
Gotcha.
And I was networking, at least I took it as an opportunity, because I'm an artist, you know, and it was all good to like, that kind of got a little sour.
Yeah, you know, before we get there, right, with Chaz, I know he was on American Gangster. I think he was up there for like robbing banks and all that, right? I think so. All right, cool. Now, I know back in the days, I guess he was managing 50, right?
Foxy Brown.
I know, like, when they had the whole big melee in Atlanta, I think it was Atlanta, he was there. I think he was there when 50 runs into Ja Rule and all that.
I'm not sure, but
okay.
Maybe. I think he was around 50 during the How to Rob era.
Okay. Did you ever ask him, like, yo, why did y'all stop talking, or why did y'all part ways or anything?
50 told me something about Chaz. I don't remember it too much to quote it.
Okay.
I know Chaz told me more about 50. I spoke about it on more occasions. I think I only spoke about 50 one time, like the first time I met him. I brought it up. And Chaz was just kind of like saying like 50 was mad at him for no reason, and like he wanted Chaz to stop him, or stop the beef between Preem. Not even to stop the beef, but like, nigga, you should have did something. Yeah. Like you let these shoot me now. Like you let that happen. Like, and you cool with this? I guess Chaz had a relationship with Supreme, so at the same time he got a relationship with 50 as an artist. Yeah. And 50 is on Ja Hills. 50 on Ja Hills. Chaz is like, yo, you know what comes with that. With being on Ja Hills, it comes with Preem. Fall back, leave it alone. And you know, escalated, and then that shit happened, and you know, I think 50 was calling him while he was in the hospital. He wasn't answering. I think I heard something like that. I heard a lot of politics about it. You know, it's before my time. Yeah. So I that's why I never really got too intrigued in it. Like I said, 50 was the most probably influential rapper before I even knew who Chaz was to me. You understand? So I always like kind of played my part in it, and I ain't really try to get too much in to I ain't know about. Gotcha. But that was kind of like the story though.
So fast forward to we kind of don't see you around 50 anymore. Yeah. And I know you said you kind of like I guess had a disagreement with a friend of yours. Yeah. And he was more so the person who was with 50 and everything. Mm-hmm. Yeah. What, if you don't mind me asking, what was that disagreement about, or what caused things to just go sour between y'all two?
In real life, I felt like he was hating on me. Yeah. In real life, I felt like he just envied who I was, my bop. Yeah. You know. But to cover it up, because you're not gonna come out saying, yo, I'm hating on you, or I'm envious you. You gotta find something to replace that. So he had mentioned that I was in the club with Jim Jones, which was false. I wasn't in the club with Jim Jones. Me and just Jim Jones happened to be in the club at the same time. Yeah. It's a difference, you agree? Being in the club with Jim Jones and, you know, like not in a literal aspect, but in a literal aspect as far as, so I was in the club with Fashion Week. I was in the club by myself. You know what I mean? I was with Remy Boy and Monty, and like that's the only like a section I was with. I was with my son Twin, shout out Twin. And it was New York Fashion Week. We was there. Yeah. Mano coming at the time. It's Mano and Jimmy. They doing a lobby boy shit. I go check Mano because I got a relationship with Mano. Like, cool. Yeah. Feel me? So I'm talking to Mano, and that was it. I ain't say nothing to Jimmy. Not even in the sense of I'm not saying nothing to him because of 50. Just in the sense of like, we ain't had nothing to talk about. I don't know that like that. He don't know me like that. It wasn't that. I know Mano. I'm not just talking. You understand what I'm saying? So he decided to see that and run with it. You feel me? And make it a thing. Yeah. You know, but you know, even in a sense like that, it's like you see I'm with 50 because of you, or we around. But at the same token, I got my own name for myself. Before I was with 50, I was on the radio, had featured records, and I established. You understand what I'm saying? So you seeing me be able to go do something else outside of 50, that'll f your head up. You feel me? Like this, that was on the Bad Girls Natalie show. That ended up on Zeus Network.
What? You like in the club then?
Yeah, because Natalie had got into something with, I think, Mano. And it went viral, like, and it was on the episode of Zeus Network. So it's just like I'm in these rooms and I'm making these moves. A nigga might be envious of that. You feel me? Opposed to where he come from, he probably thinking like, damn, all I got is this relationship, and I can't really do nothing outside of this. So that's what it really stemmed from, you know, because that wasn't the case. Like I was with Jim Jones or how you was trying to make it sound. You know what I mean? It was just so I was looking for like what could really be the issue.
Yeah.
Because I know that's not the issue.
Gotcha. Damn. And after that, did you try to like ask him like, yo, bro, you mad over this, or just any type of conversation or pushback, or you kind of just look at it like, all right.
Like it never got to a chance to go to a conversation. It just went to the internet and just started talking crazy. Mind you, like that kind of hurt me in real life because I just bailed this out. You feel me? Like I done bought this son for Christmas and all that. So
yeah.
For a lot of shit, you never really talk about, like, once you go to the internet over some shit that's not even true, I know you got malice in your heart and envious in your heart, and I just want to stay away from you, keep it official with you, because I can't let niggas in my circle like that.
Yeah.
You know?
Damn. Did I guess I would ask, did you have, like, while you were around 50, were y'all able to build a relationship to where you could reach out by yourself, or was his relationship with 50 a little bit more solid and you kind of like relied on that to
in a sense, yeah. I kind of rely more so on that because, you know, it's protocol, and like I know how to go. Like I'm a man of honor. At first, so I wouldn't even feel comfortable doing that. I feel like that's like a disrespect to 50 Cent's loyalty too, you feel me? Because he got a relationship with him, and I wouldn't feel comfortable. I feel like a rider kinda.
Gotcha.
You know, so
that's understandable. Damn, man. You know, was this person like known for doing things like that, like going to the internet and all that, or?
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
It happened not only with me. That's when I know it was a thing. It was other people that. You feel me? Like, he brought him around 50, they build a relationship. The next thing you know, he telling 50, like, yo, this person trying to rob you. Or telling, like, yo, this person trying to rob you. You feel me? In the camp, and it's just like, that's not even real shit. You just trying to burn bridges and shit. Like, you just trying to you scared about getting the opportunity. You know what I mean? I don't know what it is. This shit is just weird. You feel me? It's just weird, but I know it wasn't only with me. You feel me?
I remember seeing Pop Smoke preview some of your music, play some of your music. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You was away when Pop Smoke had his run, right?
Yeah, I was locked up the whole time. I was tight.
Damn, what was it like in the jails when Pop Smoke was
At first, when I first heard him, I ain't like him.
Likewise.
I was like,
he grew on me. I ain't
like just doing too much, and then grew on me. And
the voice, I couldn't get the voice.
I was like, nah, I'm jacking his energy. You feel me? I realized it was a cancer, like me and shit. So I'm like, all right. And then, you know, I was jacking his style, and like it seemed like as soon as I started to like that, God.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just crazy. I missed the whole.
Damn.
I missed the whole.
And did you get to?
My was with him at Tycoon. You feel me? Free Snina, you know I'm talking about Snina. Free Snina, you heard? Free Snina, free A Goon, free SB, free Room, free Say So.
Yeah. Damn. You know,
free Rico.
So you was away when he was like playing the music and all that, playing your music, or were you home?
I'm not sure because it was an old clip of Pop.
Oh,
it was an old clip of Pop, so I don't know exactly where I was. Yeah. I probably was locked up because I remember he was playing a song with me and Jeezy Mula. That's how, you know Jeezy Mula?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
That's probably how I got on his map because, you know, they both from the floor synchronicity. Mm-hmm. But in the clip, you obviously hear me rapping and shit. So it was just like, you know, I don't know if that played that every day. Like that should have been one of his favorite songs for him to play it and make a video to it, right? So it just kind of fucked me up because it's like, damn, I'm over here like a fan of Pop and I'm like feeling him, and years later I see a video of him playing my music. You feel me? So it just kind of like let me know, like, damn, you really been him.
Yeah.
Like, you really, like, despite what you try to say and all the shit that got in the way, this is Pop Smoke, the last legend that came out. You feel me? As far as a young thing, and I had him bumping my shit, you know, and it's just crazy. Like, even though I didn't get to be there, it's like I kind of felt it. Like, if I was able to see him and let him know, like, yo, that's me. Like, you feel me? Or like, word, you did that? You feel me? He was already tapped in, but I ain't know. So I just feel like it's crazy how life worked. You feel me? When my man sent me that video, I just couldn't believe it, and I took that like a badge of honor.
Yeah, of course.
You feel me? I took that like a badge of honor. You feel me? Like you don't even know.
Yeah, that's
like,
what's up.
You ain't even know. You feel me?
Yeah.
That meant a lot to me. I ain't gonna lie. Cause like I told you, I became a crazy pop fan. Like more so over. Like I'm into the fly shit. I'm into having my way, and I feel like that's what he represented.
Yeah, yeah,
you know,
definitely.
A vibe, and it was kind of crazy. I ain't know that knew. He had to know. Like if you playing this song, it's like Fabdon, Jeezy, Mula.
Yeah.
Know what I mean? It's like I would think anybody's song I'm listening to, whether it's because I know this personally and the other is just on the song, I'm tapped in with him too. Like I know who he is.
That's
you heard? I know who that is.
Yeah, too.
You feel me? Because I listen to the song every day. Like, you feel me?
That's what's up. You know, even Jeezy Mula's relationship, like how did y'all link up and everything?
Him just being lit in Brooklyn. Us having in a frenzy in Queens. And we just linked up at the studio, got it in.
That's what's up.
And it was a good song.
Yeah, that's what's
to
up.
The point Pop was feeling it.
Yeah.
And then we got locked up together. And we was on the island together at that same time when I got indicted.
Yeah, you and Jeezy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I was on the island with all of them. I was on the island. Rowdy, when GS9 came in, he put us in a box. I remember this story. They put me and Rowdy in some crib in a box. We both got sent to the box, whatever we did, whatever. And they was trying to do like this lab rat experience where they put like a Crip nigga, a blood nigga, or this all in the same crib, in the box, let them lock out for an hour a day and shit. And me and Rowdy was in the crib, so we was locking up. We was chopping it up. But I was with him in the studio before that.
Yeah.
Then I ended up seeing him on the island, upstate in prison.
Okay.
You know, so shout out Rowdy and all that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's one of them niggas that, like, you feel me? Like, I went through it with him and he was there. Jeezy to tell you feel me? About that era, like, going streets, industry, like, you feel me?
Yeah.
Dealing with the street and the industry.
Gotcha.
You know?
Damn. Was there any? What was the energy like when you was around them? Like, was it kind of like, yo, yeah, I know you from blah blah blah, or that wasn't you? Did they know your music? Did you know their music at the time? Did you know? Did y'all know of one another?
I'd say them. They had more of a name. It was established, but I felt like, I was who I was on the Queens side of thing. You know what I mean? That's Brooklyn. So just hearing my name on the radio every night. Shout out Fabdon, he playing the record. I told like Rowdy, yeah, remember we was in the studio that day? Oh yeah, da 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 da. It was that. Obviously, me and Jeezy was closer because we was actually recorded a song together. So it was never like no, like who is this? Never that.
Okay. That's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah. So, what are some of the plans for 2025? You here. What are some of the plans that you have?
Get this Stop the Violence in motion as far as I could, and do the best I could with it. Like I told you, I worked on a series.
Yeah.
And I wrote a lot about, the story of my life, our life as a gang and everything that transpired. And I'm trying to turn that into a form of art and focus on that. And I just want to get involved with the whole Stop the Violence movement. more so on a personal tip opposed to just music.
Gotcha.
So, you know, really like help the community and put myself out there and go down other avenues that don't got nothing to do with entertainment. As far as that, I want to latch myself onto that. What else? I got the series, I got the song, and basically I got music that follow up from behind Stop the Violence, which should be different because I'm coming from more of a peaceful standpoint. It's like where I'm from, everybody look at me as a troublemaker, and like the problem child. So it's like you're gonna be seeing me in a different light, making positive music. You know, that's similar to the likes of Bob Marley, Lauryn Hill, Tupac. They my inspirations in a sense, cause I don't know. I came to the conclusion before that I ain't really care to make money. I wanted to make history.
Yeah.
You know, I ain't care to make money. I wanted to make history. I got that from Jamie Foxx, and when I read that phrase and that quote, I was like, nah, that's where I'm at with it. So I always had like this dream of being like a hip hop messenger or message. You know, like according to the likes of Lauryn Hill and Tupac, you know, they stuff for, you feel me, change. I always felt like I was talented enough to do that. Not everybody could do that. Some people could just get in the studio and say bang bang and that's it, or just rap about a whole bunch of shit. But I've been equipped with a certain talent where I feel like I could reach those target audiences and just do something more timeless. Yeah. You know. So that's my go-to.
For the
2025 is come alive.
Let's get it, man. Is there anything you would like to leave with the people before we conclude this?
My government name is Fabdon, you heard? Like, that's really on my birth certificate. Like, my mother name is Fabiola.
Yeah.
And my father name is Darnell, you feel me? So they put that together and made Fabdon. My first name is Dione.
Yeah.
That stands for the only one. You heard? My mother named me that
really,
because
like,
I was the only one for her. Wow. So my government name is Dione Fabdon Millen. Wow. So I'm really him. Like, I'm not a creative player. I'm not a that, you know, made a name for us or like created a name. Like I was really born that. So when I walk like that and I talk like that, it's just cause I come to the realization, like, nah, this shit was destined. You feel me? This shit, like, I gotta live up to that. I ain't even like my names at first. I didn't even like my government names at first. I ain't like who I was, you heard, in search. You feel me? I went by Mills. That's like my last name, but you heard, but now it's just like, nah, it's something behind that.
Yeah.
And the difference between me and other people at this point is I'm trying to make a difference. Yeah. That's it. I ain't trying to go with the flow. So, you know, you heard it directly from me. Like, I ain't entertaining none of the politics or nothing negative in the sense of I'm trying to hype it up. I'm just want to clean up shop. Yeah. You know, and just have things move accordingly. You know, because I don't go with the flow. Like, I kind of like make the flow of where we going. So if I say stop the violence, it's stop the violence, right? Gotcha. In a sense. At least that's what is promoting and advertising.
Yeah. You know, I did, when you did it at first, I did see some people they kind of thought it was like sarcasm or not taking it serious, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Were they upset at you for that, or no?
In a sense, it was sarcasm, and they felt the way about it. It kind of was, as far as like, it's not really even on that. Stop the violence. Yeah. They're like, let's push this because it ain't really on that. It's just doing this shit for clout, and I'm not gonna let y'all do it. But now it's really coming from a more genuine spot. Like, you know, I put God first, and in the Bible it says, Matthew 5 verses 9, bless the peacemakers, for they are the children of God. So, despite all this other shit, like, I'm on that, and I never had a problem with being myself. And I felt like although it came from a sarcastic standpoint, it was still my calling. I just had to see things at a mature light and have a better understanding about how I would go about it.
Gotcha.
You know, opposed to going about it in a sarcastic light, opposed to a more genuine light where it's like, let me really try to do this, you feel me? And I feel like that's what my mind shifted towards within the 6 months of me sitting down and just staying prayed up. I just felt like, you know, God was bringing me there, but I wasn't mentally there. And now I'm more mentally there. And I got this shit tatted on me, man. Love is love. Like, I'm a person that I feel like it's hard for me to hate. You feel me? I don't hate people, like, in general. Like, even I got beef with, you feel me? I don't never hate on, you feel me? It's not really in my DNA. Sometimes I be wanting to hate it, but it's hard for me to, like, care about a person that much.
To hate them.
Yeah, like if I care about you, I care about you, and so I'm not gonna hate you. But if I don't care about you, I'm definitely not gonna hate you, cause it's like I don't care about you.
Yeah.
If that make any sense, you feel me?
Yeah.
So you know, it's kind of like it's like what's going on today. You feel me? Just be claiming to hate it, they don't know it. You know, whether I know you or I don't know you, I don't hate you. You heard? And back to the Bible, you feel me? That's the only two things we gotta do: love God and love each other. You feel me? So that's the only two laws. You feel me? That you gotta roll with. So I'm just, you know, taking it day by day.
Gotcha.
You know, trying to gain that light. Just stay down and discipline as far as it. It's not easy.
Yeah, definitely.
Because people gonna always poke at you and try to make you seem like a fraud about it. When you walking in the shadow, it's like, all right, let me get this ticked off so I could show everybody
that he's
this nigga
lying.
don't really mean it. And I felt like people was doing that at the time when I first did the Stop the Violence. It was like just trying to pull all type of skeletons in the closet where I gotta remind, like, what I gotta bring up some violent times. And it won't go hand in hand with what I'm out here trying to do. Yeah. So now, you know, I'm glad that I had that little space and opportunity to understand that.
Gotcha.
Dougie B definitely was one of the young pioneers that saw what I was doing with the whole Stop the Violence thing. And next thing you know, I seen him on live talking to his ops, saying, yo, like, nah, for real, like, we gotta stop the violence. And Dougie B followed me, and I done been with him, so it was only right for me to feel like it's stealing from me, in the sense, like, he must have seen what I was doing. So, but that's just, like, you know, I'm talking about like that. Even that's what it's about. It's like a snowball effect, and I want that to come to the light. And like, I got a big feature that's supposed to be on, like, the remix of it, and they not from New York, so it's supposed to go out further, you feel me, than New York, and more on the industry tip.
When is the song supposed to come out, and what can we know the feature, or that's kind of like...
Nah, I'm not gonna drop the feature because we might change it.
Okay, all right,
so
cool.
I don't want to speak too fast on it, but the song's supposed to be coming out probably like Valentine's Day or something. I'll probably drop it.
Okay.
For the love.
Gotcha. I was gonna ask. Okay.
For the love of something, but the video done. Video is epic, and we kind of really ready to go. We just had this in the way, so now I'm home now.
Gotcha.
We're gonna pick up where we left off at.
I bet. I know this is going on in Brooklyn, but did you see, like, Wooo and Cho's getting together? And
nah, my man was just telling me about that. He was like, yo, da-da-da. While you was away, the Woos and Cho's is talking now. He's like, we was the first to do the Stop the Violence. Now they're going. So it's cool, and I don't care if I don't get the credit for it. I don't care if they don't say, like, it come from me, because it's a deeper purpose.
Yeah, exactly.
Than just getting clout off of it. I just know sometimes it's stupid, like, yo, Fabdon was on this. If you was against it, you feel me? And then you see that you look up to or influence you,
Doing
and you
it.
see it do it, it's like, oh, it puts you in the position like, damn, I could have been,
Yeah.
I could have been, had my way in this movement, or before this, like, and it's like, oh, maybe Fab was right. Maybe he was on to something, like, because I got this that got 10 times more influence than whoever you are, and you was going against it, and I seen it beforehand. So, and my shit really come from like a story. My shit don't really come from me, another doing it. You feel me? Or seeing it being done. Like, I ain't seen nobody push and stop the violence and say, hey, this is what I'm gonna do, and hop on a bandwagon. You know, all was inspired by it. My shit really come from putting a record out. It's violence in the background. Me just wanting it to be music.
Yeah.
And like that.
Fabdon.
Catch on.
Man, until next time.